Right then, good evening, everyone. You got your volume turned down. Oh dear.
Hello. Oh, he's off to a stupid start, isn't he?
He is indeed. So, hello again to our regular Thursday night. Why do you always have to move it?
Because I don't like you've got more of the screen than me. I want a 50% share for my giant head.
Yes, but we're here for our regular Thursday night live. So thank you all so much for joining us. It's anything new, Paulie?
I got a new shirt on.
Yeah, Paulie's been shopping, haven't we, to get a few bit of and I've got some new cruise sandals arrived today. I'm wearing them around the house.
Yeah, can you see them under the table?
Yeah, look at them bad boys. Ooh, nice and flat because I'm getting old and I want to be able to dance. So yes, so lots of exciting things going on. This week we've been doing lots of DIY and stuff, but we're here to talk about cruise and travel and anything else you would like to ask us. So please do let us know in the comments.
What I love is the amount of times that she said we in there. There hasn't been any we. There's only been me, hasn't there, in the DIY?
Well, I've been filming and watching a bit. It looks like it's gone live on Facebook as well, so that's brilliant. Yes, so there's a thumbs up from Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, let us know with writing a comment or give us a thumbs up or a heart, whatever you want to do. Yes, but anyway,
we're there.
Excellent, because that's always been a bit dodgy on it, or connection with Facebook. Yeah, so first one here today was Kevin. So always love to see Kevin from Calgary, and he's quite rightly put, if you've got a question for us, please start your question with question, so we can pick it out of all the comments. So that'll be great. Gillian saying hello to everyone. And Mark Williams saying, Mark and Sheila. Hi from Fred and Ginger of Celebrity Clips, also known as Mark and Sheila. Can't make tonight's vlog, taking granddaughter home. We'll watch it later, have fun. Well, hi guys, you also feature in our new video that's coming out tomorrow.
Yes. So if you've got no reason at all to think you have to watch the video that's coming out tomorrow, which is a tour and review of the Celebrity Eclipse, is something we haven't done a ship tour. I can't even remember the last time, and I can't even remember what ship it was. It's that long ago. We get asked constantly, why don't you do ship tours? And usually because we haven't got enough time, but we tried to make sure we put as much footage together as possible to do a ship tour of the eclipse, even though what we did, most of it went horribly wrong because we hadn't done it for such a long time. We didn't really have a groove that we felt we needed to be in. And
it's been a painful week.
It's been educational, and we will certainly be doing things different going forward, not of what we're showing to you, but how we produce that material and what we do with it. I'm really pleased with what we've done, because it's not people, don't say I'm criticizing anybody at all that does ship tours, but what we've done is we tried to do it differently, still make it educational, still show you as much of the ship as possible, but also give a bit of feedback on, not like this is the so-and-so bar and this is the,
personalize it a little bit.
Personalize it. That's the very word.
But it has been painful. Yesterday, by about 2:00 in the afternoon, I said to Paul, I can't do any more. My eyes were going square, weren't they? And so then we ended up going out in the garden, which was the best thing, wasn't it? And we had a fun time in the garden. But actually, we managed to finish it this morning. Our patrons have got it, and we've had some positive feedback from them. They're our testers. So we often do things and say, look, what do you think, and what can we do differently or better? And we love their input because they're invaluable. So thank you for all your comments that have come through so far.
But what I was saying before I'd forgot what I was saying was that Mark and Sheila feature in this video tomorrow dancing, and it's worth watching just for that.
Exactly. So if you haven't already seen it while we're talking about our videos, our last episode of our Celebrity Eclipse vlog, I was trying to think of the word then, vlog is out. So the complete series is now available on our YouTube channel, and tomorrow this is what will be out, just a Celebrity Eclipse cruise ship tour and review. So we hope you watch that, and we hope you enjoy it, because it's been hard work. But like Paul said, getting into a groove when you're thinking, just put a ship tour together, it's not as simple as that, because you've got to pick all the footage out. And because we weren't organized when I actually put all the footage in the folders, I didn't have a ship tour folder, then it made it more complicated, just time consuming. But anyway, hopefully you'll enjoy it. And
it was Carole's fault that it was such hard work, not mine, because I have very little input, so I can get.
You've done all the voiceovers.
Well, I did all the voiceovers. Yeah, I mean, I'm worn out now. I need a lie down.
Anyway, so that's what's happening on our YouTube channel at the moment. Anne and Mike are here, so obviously 23 days and counting. Yeah, 23 days to our first group cruise. We've got a long chat with Dan again today because all the things that's going on behind the scenes with our little welcome goodie bags and stuff is coming together, so that's cool. But we feel quite in control, don't we, Paul? A little bit scared, but in control, so that's good.
In control as much as we usually are.
Yeah. Claire saying even just a few short weeks we'll be chatting for real. Exactly that.
Wait, totally.
And Kevin's just put a lovely thing on here as well. If you haven't signed up for our newsletter, please do. It's a way of obviously contacting you with any news, etc., etc. So if we're doing further group cruises, once obviously our members and patrons are told, that's our next step that we tell before we actually make it public.
And it's free gratis to sign up for our newsletter. Absolutely free.
It is.
We won't bombard you with rubbish on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We're hoping by the end of the year that we'll have a mailing list of 10,000.
No. Oh, I wish.
I was waiting to see Carole's
We just hit 1,300 on our mailing list, so we're really chuffed to bits with that. So thank you everyone that's signed up so far.
If we could get up to 2,000, that would be fabulous.
It would. So that's our newsletter. Also, great news are from a group cruise point of view. Our yacht is sold out, so we've got fully people that we know and that follow us are going to be on that ship, and it's going to be such fun. There's apparently one cabin left on our Christmas river cruise, so if you want to join us in there, you've got to jump on that.
Got to pull your finger out.
And obviously, we've got spaces for our Patreon cruise next April. So, and we're already talking. That's another reason we were talking today with Dan. We're looking for 2027, and if if Princess perform well and we really enjoy it and everyone else enjoys it, then we'll definitely be doing another cruise, group cruise for them. Right, Catherine's here saying everyone give the thumbs up. Thank you, she's already done it, so thank you so much.
Yes, get them thumbs up. You can do it on your telly. I don't want to hear your excuses, or I'm watching on my telly, I can't do it, because you can do it. Do you want me to tell you how to do it? I don't know, but you can do it.
So Rose is here saying the cruise feels real now. I can't wait to meet everyone in person. It certainly does. Barbara saying she's just home today after a 2-day repositioning cruise on Valletta. What a lovely little ship, and the crew were outstanding. We'll certainly sail with Fred Olsen again. Yeah, it's a fantastic ship. I'm glad you had a good time, because you were a bit nervous, weren't you, about going on that? So I'm glad it all worked out well. So Rose got our first question here. Have you been on Arvia and as well as Iona? Dan is going to book it for me in 2027 once bookings open.
No, we've only done Iona. Now, I don't know how similar Arvia and Iona. They're very similar. So they're very similar, apparently. But no,
they have got some differences, but they are similar. I think Anne and Mike are in the chat. They were on Arvia recently, actually, in the Caribbean.
Okay.
So hopefully, but Iona's a great ship, and
we've done Iona twice, haven't we?
We've done Iona maybe twice or 3 times.
Twice. First time was just coming out of COVID, so there was only 1,000 people on there. So, but yeah, I do. We haven't been on there for a few years, and we did say on our vlogs, and I'm happy to repeat that because that's what we said, and we stand by it. Was that we enjoyed the ship, but the staff felt like they were just going through the motions. Yeah,
but some people have been on there since and said that seemed to have improved. So that was good to hear.
But it's certainly a ship that we would try again. But there's other P&O ships that we still haven't done. We haven't done Britannia.
No.
We haven't done
Azura.
Arvia. We haven't done Azura.
Yeah, or Arcadia.
So
we are looking out for, because you can pick up some real good bargains, can't you, with P&O? So that's good. So hopefully you can have a good time. Talking about P&O, Gillian's quite rightly put up, is anybody due to go on the 3-night Aurora trip that got cancelled 24 hours before? How disappointing. That is gutting, isn't it? There was people that are actually en route to the cruise port. They had obviously booked the hotel before. So, and I think it's a little bit remiss of P&O that they only give that amount of notice because of obviously it's being refurbished. And I'm sure they must have known before that. So if I'd have been one of those passengers, I'd been pretty miffed. And what they've offered is actually a full refund, but only 20% future cruise credit, which I think is really poor.
I do think it's poor. I think for that short a notice.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if it's a 3-day cruise, it wasn't like that cruise is going to be £25,000, is it?
No,
that cruise
cheap.
is going to be cheap.
Yeah.
So if that cruise is £500 or £600, they're giving you £120 for cancelling virtually on the day, which I think is very, very
well, and all your
shoddy.
travel expenses, and if
Yeah.
you booked a hotel and
Well, it
all the
wouldn't
loss.
cover any of
So
that, would
yeah. So if there is anyone in the comments, like Gillian said, then let us know what you did, because we would be gutted. Andy and Carla are here, so we've seen these guys again in a couple of weeks. And also Jeff's here, ahoy from Ohio. We'll only be able to join for a bit today. I have an appointment to head off to, so at that time I'll be left then. Very good, very good.
Yes, don't bring any of those jokes with you, Jeff. Leave them at home.
Leave them at home, yeah. So Julian's just saying hello from Kincardine in Ontario. Hoping everyone's having a great day, evening. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, and Mike is just saying we did the transatlantic from Barbados on RV last month. Can highly recommend it. So yeah, I knew that they had. So that's cool. Mandy's here. So good evening, everyone, from a sunny, warm Blackpool. It's been lovely again today, hasn't it? We've been doing a bit of Paul's been doing a bit of a bit of DIY.
A bit of wee. Paul's been doing a bit of wee.
Well, you do that every day.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully I do. And hopefully most humans do that every day.
Exactly. But he managed to made a bit of a hole in our bedroom wall. Do you want to explain yourself, Pauline?
Right, long story short, the curtain pole, to hold the curtain pole out, there's a bracket and there's 3 screws. And I'm not going to cast any aspersions, but before we go on a cruise, Carole hangs everything on said curtain pole. So said curtain pole, when you consider that our 2 suitcases are usually 23 kilos each, and I would say that 80% of that is clothes. She's been no, you don't put the shoes out there, no. So she's been hanging everything clothes-wise on that curtain pole. So what's happened is it started to pull out because it's plasterboard. It started to pull out, and basically the holes are now 3 times the size they need to be. So I thought, well, what I can do, I can move the bracket around, re-drill the holes, get some proper plasterboard raw plugs, and the job would be a good one. But as soon as I tried drilling the first hole, it just became one hole about that big.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm like a pig with a rifle when it comes to DIY, but I do feel that somebody else should take the blame.
I do. I'm responsible. I've since bought a clothes rail that we've got in our spare little room.
Yeah.
So which is brilliant.
That goes like that now.
No, it doesn't.
It's like a banana.
Dear. So let's see what we've got. Ken goes cruising. Ken and Lindsay here. So love to see you guys. We're going to be catching up soon before we get on the cruise, aren't we? So looking forward to that. Cunard Caroline's here, saying just back from our cruise on the lovely Queen Victoria. That is going to be our next vlog series from when we went away with Ken and Lindsay and Bob and Holly and Alfie in December with our pre-Christmas cruise. So I'm looking forward to editing those vlogs, because one, Queen Victoria is a beautiful ship, which is why we chose to have our group cruise for the patrons on there, and looking forward to revisiting a lot of fun that we had too.
It was a good time.
It was. Let's see who's got the next question then. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Morris is here and saying, good evening, everyone. PNC question. Have you visited Gijon or Oviedo? We were there on Wednesday. They are famous for their cider, and you drink it after being poured from a great height.
Oviedo?
Yes, that's probably right. No, well, we did go to Gijon many years ago when we were with the dads.
Is that the place that
we
was
got
closed?
off, and it must have been a bank holiday or a Sunday, and most things were closed. So it was actually, we walked and walked, didn't we? Tried to buy something, and it was just so. Yeah, but now that we know, you'll have to let us know exactly where the cider is, then, Morris. So sorry that we can't help.
I mean, we wouldn't visit anywhere, but now you said it pours cider on you. I'm all over it.
Rose is asking, has anyone in the UK got their group merchandise yet? Some have. Nicola's working right through the list, Rose. So she's on it, and she reassures me that everyone will be getting it before we leave. So yes, the orders are going out, but she's doing it as fast as they're coming in. So yes, some people have had that. So Nick saying, what are you most looking forward to on your up-and-coming group cruise? Are you Shipshake and Bristol Fashion? What are you most looking forward to, Pauline?
Oh, it's got to be the cheeseburger pie in the International Cafe. I'm looking forward to it being our first ever group cruise. That's very exciting. And I'm looking forward to meeting lots and lots of lovely people who have been kind enough to support us in this group cruise shenanigans. And obviously, I'm looking forward to spending lots of lovely time with my family, especially, fingers crossed, because he's been a bit poorly, but now he's fighting back and he's all looking good.
Doing
with
really
my
well.
father, who's 90 years of age. And that, to me, is what I'm looking forward to the most, is cruising with my 90-year-old dad.
Because we didn't think it would happen,
No,
did
we
we?
didn't. I didn't even think he'd be like...
Yeah.
I didn't even think he'd be with us, let alone cruising. So all you lot, make sure you make a big old fuss of him and sit on his lap and all that, and buy him drinks.
No, he's got the Princess Plus. He'll be all right. So yes, I totally agree. I think it's going to be the people. This is all about the community and getting together. We've got some great meetups planned with some fun things that we're going to do, and I just think it's going to be I think it's just going to be a real hoot.
It is.
It's going to be a laugh, and I'm looking forward for everyone doing the House of Bamboo dance. We've been doing it now, so we've been practicing. After we've been working for about an hour and a half or whatever, I say, right, Paulie, and then we say, I won't say the word because you might play it now, but we ask a certain person who's a little to play this certain song, and we jump up and we dance. And we think we've got it to... Paul does it slightly different to me because he doesn't do as many taps, because he said he can't do that, but he's still in time and he's still doing similar steps, aren't you? So it doesn't matter. So that's going to be a lot of fun, isn't it, doing our dance. So Travel with Lizzie Lou's here. Jill and Sandra saying, hope you had a good Easter. We did, thank you. Paul went racing. You had a successful race meeting, didn't you?
I won 2 out of 3 races, so it was overall it was a good meeting. Yeah, could have done better in the final, but I was a bit of a wuss going into the first corner, but c'est la vie.
I'm just seeing if I can spot Craig's here as well. So let's see Craig and Michael Pear from Foothill Ranch, California, where we're heading to, aren't we, later in the year?
You're not clicking on stuff, honey.
I'm not clicking on stuff.
No,
I'm
not clicking on it on there. It's not.
Oh, sorry. Yes. What about... My mouse has been playing up a little bit, hasn't it?
Well, give it some cheese.
Oh dear. So Reese and Katherine are here saying, hello, Lindsay and Lindsay. Thank you for introducing Katherine to cider. Well, the Thatcher's blackcurrant and apple one anyway. Yeah, that's nice. See, I'm not a big cider drinker, but that with the ice is just like a pop, isn't it? It's just really, really refreshing.
I now can't have an apple or blackcurrant without Carole saying, can I try it? Which, when you're drinking wine, see, that would be, I don't know how you can go back to your wine, because is your wine not really bitter after having the loveliness of Thatcher's apple and blackcurrant?
No, not too bad.
Okay. There you go.
Land Rover 965 is in the house too. So someone says, ooh, someone's been in the sun. You're looking like you're a little bit tanned.
Well, just, to give me a break from all the voiceovers yesterday, Carole very graciously allowed me to go out into the garden and cut a load of trees down. So, that was a right result for me.
We're out clearing well. We've got really overgrown hedges.
So that we.
Well, I was helping.
Mate, I was cutting stuff down with big loppers and a saw. Carole had a scissors. That's how much she was helping. A scissors.
You were passing me the big thing.
Not even a special garden scissors either. A scissors.
I was tidying the edges. Anyway, Angela's here, so love to see you. And Annie Hayes as well, saying hi from sunny Surrey. Been watching loads of your content on YouTube, loving them all. Well, thank you very much, Annie. Appreciate that. Chris is here as well. So hello, Chris, and Mike and Carrie, or one or the other. But I know you are flying in to see each other this weekend, so that'd be awesome. So hello all. Let's have a look. Debbie, so thank you for posting a question on Facebook, so we know it's working. I know it's not cruise or travel related, but looking forward to part 2, Paul with a paint sprayer. Yeah, if you're watching our reels, we do a lot of travel content, obviously, on our Facebook. Then we do a little bit of random sort of fun stuff that always tend to get a lot of good feedback, doesn't it? So what's your thoughts on that?
I'm hoping that over the weekend, if the weather is nice... we're busy tomorrow, but hopefully if the weather's nice over the weekend, I will have a go at, because we've got a little bar in the garden and we've got a little chicken house that Carole's dad made 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Sadly, the chickens are no longer with us, but we kept the chicken house for sentimental value. So my first job is to clean up the chicken house.
Yeah,
and paint that. So
yeah, because I want to
just to see. But you know, I mean, you see people using them on TikTok, and they look like the best thing since sliced bread. But I'm not saying that they might be fibbing in their advertisements, but I got a feeling that when I use it, it's going to be pretty awful. But
we will film it, or we will do another reel for Facebook so you can see.
Let me tell you how accomplished I am at DIY. So today, after yesterday, I got 2 saws in the house, 2 actual manual saws. And when I got these saws, they were secondhand. So you can imagine how good they are. So today, I treated myself to 2 brand new saws from B&Q. Other DIY shops are available. And the first thing I did is pulled the cardboard.
Why did he do that?
And cut my finger.
Yeah.
That's how useless
I am.
Plaster on no, it fell off because I've been stripping today. I've been stripping wallpaper. I've been doing voiceovers. I've been filling holes. I've been making holes. I've been doing it all really.
Rose saying great shirt and sandals. Thank you very, very, very much. Andy and Christina here, so good to see you.
Evening.
And Susan's here as well from Surprise, Arizona. The sandals are very pretty. Yeah, they have in all different colours. I don't often buy shoes and stuff online, but I've seen this company now. They're called Beautiful Shoes or something. And they had these sandals, and they were only $19.99. And I thought, oh, that's a bargain. And they've got them all different colours, but I thought I'll get a neutral colour to start and see if they're comfortable. But they're so far so good.
But you bought them donks ago. Ages ago, and they said they'll ship them whenever.
Yeah.
And then today we got an email saying, oh, your package from Yodel will be coming.
And I thought it was another scam.
We thought, well, we haven't even got a package coming from Yodel. We never use Yodel. Like our cruise lady never used Yodel. I haven't ordered anything else off TikTok yet, but I mean, the day and over. And so we didn't take a lot of notice. And then we come back and there was the package on top of our recycling bin. And it was, I said to Carole, it feels like shoes.
Yeah, brilliant shoes. That's what it's called.
Brilliant shoes.
Yeah.
So we've both bought internet shoes now. So I got my I do like it because they use like a robot voiceover on TikTok for my loafers. But because a robot doesn't know what a loafer is, he calls them lace up loafers, comfortable loafers.
But yes, yeah, so I'm very, very pleased with them. Yvonne's here, so love to see you. And Don and Scott are here saying 23 days of the group cruise. Would you do another person's group cruise? If yes, who would you like? Well, we've already done one. We've done Gary Bembridge. That was the one person that we wanted to go on their group cruise. So so we've done it and we thoroughly enjoyed it, which was our last vlog series. And being a passenger and seeing how Gary ran things, because he's so professional, so slick, it was really educational for us.
Ours won't be like that.
But Gary's on ours, so that'll be fun. So
Gary's coming on ours to see how not to do things.
Ken's asking, did I get my shoes on TikTok? No. So hopefully we've just answered that.
Where did you get them from?
Brilliant shoes. I just said.
Yeah, but was it off Amazon?
I just seen it came up. An advert came up, and I thought when I looked at the reviews are all good, and I thought, well, it's only $19.99, so there's not a lot of money to lose, is it? If it didn't work out. So Tony Brooks is here as well from Facebook. So thank you so much, and Jerry's in the house. Oh, looking forward to catching up in a few weeks. And no shots. Mind, it's both your birthdays, isn't it? So it's going to be very entertaining. Carole D's here from a very warm Central Florida, 32 degrees. All very nice. And Nick and Tracy are here too. So we've spoken to Nick and Tracy earlier. You asked the question, wasn't it? And Emma's here too. So looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks. Exactly that. Right. Laura's saying she can't comment, but you are commenting, so so we can see it. Let's have a look. Derek's asking a question on Facebook. So, hi PNC, what in your opinion has been the best cruise ship for service? Thank you. Wow. Holland America service is excellent, and it's throughout the ship, isn't it? From bar to dining room to everything. So I think Holland America is up there.
I think Morella's great
as well. Morella's service is really good.
Morella the problem with Morella is you try and walk from one end of the ship to the other, and it takes you about 4 hours because the staff are so lovely, they all want to stop and say hello to you. So it's great. What we've experienced on Morella, which is we've done, 5 or 6 on there. And like you said, Holland, America, nothing's too much trouble. It's definitely
we had very good service on Celebrity too, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I think, we had great service on Aurora when we were on there.
We've
Not
never
so good on Iona.
We've never had really bad service on anything apart from MSC, which we did MSC Opera, and it was just the worst service and the worst cruise ever. It was just terrible. Beautiful ship, but horrible service and horrible staff. It was better on MSC Virtuosa,
but they were just so busy.
But still not great, and just too busy. It's just too busy all the time. But
and there was only 1,000 passengers on when we were on there.
But I have to say, the service
5,000.
But the service, obviously, we did Costa.
The service was very good on there too.
There was, I would say, there was only in the whole week we was on there. There was only 2 members of staff, which they weren't speaking to me, but they were speaking to somebody else. And if they had been speaking to me, like it'd have been, oi mush, we're going to have problems if you carry on talking to me like that. But it wasn't me, it was somebody else. But that was 2 very isolated incidents. But overall, the service on there was good.
The best cruise ship. It's very difficult, isn't it? Because it's as Amara, take out guest relations around the ship was fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say best cruise ship.
Isn't it pleasing that there's too many?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Colette's here says it's a beautiful day in Torquay.
Ooh, Torquay. I love Torquay. I used to go camping in Torquay when I was about 17 or 18. A gang of us used to go down there and camp in Torquay, and it was like we were king of the world. We were.
So yes, and Keith saying not long till the group cruise. Indeed, we've been talking about obviously on a princess cruise you get 2 formal nights, or I think they call them, is it dress to impress nights, or
I don't know.
Yeah. And we're talking about, are we going to take our tuxedos or not? And I know formal nights aren't for everyone, but we're going to be taking our tuxedo. I'll take a cut of my lacy dress that are sort of 3/4 length. And we're really looking forward to them. But I know that formal nights aren't for everyone. And it'll be interesting to see on Sky Princess, because when we were last on there, a lot of people did dress up, but a lot of people didn't.
Yeah,
did they? So
I don't want to use the pun, but it's whatever floats your boat. If you like it, do it. If you don't, don't.
Exactly that. Cunard Caroline's just asking, we had just had a force 10 storm, wow, with 10-meter waves off the coast of Portugal along Queen Victoria. What's the roughest weather you've sailed through?
We've had a few bangers fairly recently, haven't we? In that, the South China Sea was quite entertaining. We had 8 or 10 meter swells there, didn't we?
Was it about? I thought it was about 8, 7 or 8. Yeah. I don't think it was 10.
Well, I said it was,
but it was still very entertaining.
Yeah.
I think what's jumped into my head was when we were with Cruising with the Dads on Explorer of the Seas. This was before we vlogged, actually. We were doing a Norway cruise because we love Norway and did it quite a few times with the dads, didn't we? And we were coming back into Stavanger, and he said that it's going to get really, really rocky overnight. They just revamped the ship and they'd added a few cabins right at the top of the ship, a few balcony cabins. So we were right at the top, wasn't it? Was it deck 12 or whatever it was? And I said to Paul, this is the time we're going to regret booking a cabin so high up. And actually, when we went to bed that night, we actually were spooning, weren't we? Because we were just holding on to each other because we were really swaying. Otherwise, we could have rolled out of bed.
If you tried sleeping on your side without something to hang on to, it was impossible. You couldn't stay on your side. You would either flop on your front or flop on your back.
Thankfully, by the morning, things had settled a little bit. We were able to dock, but the captain warned us that he thought that we wouldn't be able to dock. So that was it. Yeah. And the other memories is when I worked as a nurse on Celebrity Cruise in the early 90s, we went through a hurricane on our way from New York, Bermuda. And thankfully, I was so busy running around the ship, giving shots to people that were being seasick, etc.
I mean, what sort of nurse is that? There's people being
injections.
Sick. Oh, injections. Here's your Jägermeister, sir.
I didn't have time to think about it, but even I was vomiting. The other nurse was being sick, and we were just trying, not over the patients, obviously, we were doing it discreetly. However, that was quite scary, and I just remember seeing the waves coming over and hitting some of the windows and stuff. So that was,
Well, thanks for that graphic account.
Yeah, sorry. Helen's just saying, hi both, love your sandals, Carole. Where do you find all your lovely dresses? My two favourite places to buy dresses, for my shape particularly, and for someone that's a little bit older, is Class, KLASS, which you can order online, or there's a shop in Gloucester. And I like Roman. So they normally have some quite dressy, sparkly things, don't they, Roman and Class?
It's just a travelling for Roman, isn't it?
No. So that's my two go-to places where I buy the dresses. You know, I'm quite short and square, so their styles tend to suit me, don't they?
Yeah.
So David's here saying hello, and we've got CME Traveling also saying hello. Look forward to watching your ship tour. You all do such a great job. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoy it. Like I say, it was
I'm going to guess now, but I think that might be See Me Traveling.
See Me Traveling.
See what they've done there?
Yes, that's CME. Was that your intention? Let us know. Craig's asking us a very difficult question now, because who's your go-to cruise rigger that you watch or get the most inspiration from, apart from Gary? No, I'm not going to. Gary is the one that inspired us to stop. I don't want to start mentioning vloggers because I don't want to leave anyone out and people get offended. There's not one person that I think, oh, I must watch their videos. I watch a few. In fact, I've got so much on my watch later list at the moment. I haven't watched them for a while because we've been too busy. So
I don't watch anybody.
Paul doesn't watch anyone. Unless I say, oh, look at this.
Unless she says to me, if you want any dinner, you're going to have to sit down and watch these videos with me. Otherwise, I wouldn't. I just, watch sport and films and car chases.
So that is difficult. I don't want to offend anyone. No. Mike's saying, any racing left before the group cruise?
There's racing, should you choose to accept it. That's Mission Impossible, isn't it? Every weekend. But I'm not racing this weekend.
Because we also, that's a reminder me too, we've got our Zoom on Sunday. So all our top tier Patreons and members, we look forward to chat to you on Sunday.
I'm not racing this weekend because I've got some Zoom calls to do. Then the next qualifying round for the national finals is the weekend after. So, and then the fourth qualifying round for the Nationals is on the 18th of May. But luckily, I've got nothing going on, so I should be fine for that one too.
Yeah, we didn't know that because we booked our group cruise 2 years in advance. What I intend to do, as soon as the racing dates come out, I populate them in my calendar, and we try and cruise around that. But obviously, with 2 years and they only come out a year in advance, don't they? It's hard to do.
I will be. So the answer to that question is I will be racing once more before the group cruise.
Yes.
And then I don't know if I know my fate for the Masters or not yet. Then or not, it depends. I don't know.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Nick and Tracy, and how posh do you feel now that you've chartered your own yacht for your birthday next year? I know, that's mental, isn't it? I'm so excited about that. It's going to be such an excellent adventure. We know that we love that small ship yacht experience because we've done it on Sail Croatia, which is why we picked. This time it's with Riviera Travel on a very similar size yacht that we did it with Sail Croatia. This is a little bit more modern.
I just didn't realise that when we chartered it, that we've got to do all the driving, all the cooking, all the cleaning. I genuinely thought there was going to be staff on there.
No, so there'll just be us and 7 staff.
Yeah, so
that's going to be absolutely awesome. So yeah, that's brilliant, and it'd be great having you guys on board too, because we've got quite a few of our patrons and members and our new newsletter subscribers that are joining us, which is brilliant. Craig says he's loving the countdown you're doing for the group cruise. It's basically saying countdown from our own. Exactly, because we're going to be in Southampton the night before, so we're catching up with a few people, and Craig's going to be in there the night before too. So we look forward to catching up. So Bonnie's here from, we're currently in Hilo, Hawaii, attending the Merry Monarch Festival. It's very warm and humid. It's been great. Bonnie's been sharing her pictures in our Discord group for our members, and still that's the next one. Now we've booked New Zealand. That's our next one to be booking, isn't it? Our next bucket list trip, but we haven't decided when it is yet. Travel with Johnny and Will are here. So they sent us a picture last night with our group cruise t-shirts on there, looking rather dapper. So that's excellent. So can't wait to catch up with you guys either. So Sarah's also saying, have you ever done a murder mystery cruise or a themed cruise? I can see one advertised on MSC, but not sure what they entail. We haven't done a murder mystery.
If it's anything like our experience on MSC Opera, they probably will murder you.
No. That was going back many years ago.
Yes,
it was going back many years. It was before our vlogging days.
It was about 7-8 years ago. It wasn't.
No,
it wasn't.
We did encounter some very interesting stuff.
Very, very rude
but
stuff.
Beautiful ship. But no, we haven't done a murder mystery cruise. But we have done a Morella themed cruise where it was like sort of 80s, 90s music, wasn't it?
That was
the Electric Sunsets, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah. So I think if you're there and there is a thing going on, it depends on how much they do on board, because they advertise these things and then you get on board, and sometimes I know with what was the one someone was talking to me about, and they said it was a bit disappointing because there wasn't as much.
No, it was
Joe. That was the Fred Olsen mystery cruise. They felt there wasn't enough sort of fuss made on board about where they were going next, and it was quite easy to guess the
guess
the itinerary.
Yeah,
but I guess there's only so many places you go in 7 days, isn't there? So, of course, Claire. Yes, of course you did. Claire's been on Avia last October. She's lovely. A warmer ambience than Iona. So that's nice to hear. Donna and Scott are also saying Avia. We preferred Avia over Iona, not by much. If you like Iona, you'll like Avia. Yeah, so I'm sure we would too. The Book of Face is working well, so thank you so much. And he is here from Las Vegas, so that's I bet that's hot there too.
Oh, I bet it is. Unless it's the middle of the night, but it still be hot then, won't it?
Yeah. Andy and Christian saying they were on the Caribbean repositioning cruise on Avia in March. They've definitely improved standards since those early COVID cruises in 2021.
No, I'm pleased to hear that, because
which is brilliant.
Because what I will say, so I'm going to say this, I'm going to contradict myself. P&O and companies like that, Princess, Holland America, their entertainment is fabulous. Apart from when we went on Iona, and it was the first ever time that they did that thing that Jonathan Wilkes wrote, Festivals, and it was terrible.
We didn't enjoy it.
It was awful. And then when we went back on Iona,
we love Jonathan Wilkes.
We do.
Yeah.
And when we went back on Iona, somebody said, "Oh, you coming to the theatre tonight? Festival's on." He's like, "No, you're all right." And then everybody came out from there and said, "Oh my God, that was brilliant." And apparently they'd improved it by about 1,000,000%. So it just goes to show, things improve. And then we were kicking ourselves because we didn't go to watch it.
Yeah.
So it's great. And I think they take feedback. Nobody wants to put a rubbish show on.
Exactly. So I think it's exactly, and that's like with anything. And people say to us, "Oh, this happened on a cruise and that happened on a cruise." I said, did you complain at the time and try and get that issue sorted? Because this is the thing. You see people moaning about it. You see vloggers saying, "Oh, it was terrible." Did you do anything to try and remedy it? Oh, well, actually, no. So don't. I always say, don't moan about stuff unless you try and get a solution.
Yeah.
So if you're on a cruise and something isn't quite to your liking, or something's wrong with your cabin, or you have an issue, make sure you go and speak to guest services about it. And 9 times out of 10, all problems can be solved. So yeah, and some people say, "Oh, I wish I'd done that now." And it's like, well, if you don't act at the time, then it becomes very difficult.
I think the sad thing is that there's some vloggers out there, and they want things to go wrong, and they want something to be bad because it makes for a more interesting video that they'll probably get more views on. And it gets to the point where you see the same people doing the same thumbnails, and you think, like, why do you constantly go on a cruise if everything's so... And one of the comments on one of the things was, "Do you think you'll ever enjoy a cruise?" was one of the comments. And I thought, if we ever get to that stage, I want somebody to come up and hit me around the head with a big frying pan like Reeves and Mortimer.
Because I think sometimes things do go wrong. And I know from a vlogging point of view, when it does go wrong, you get so much more views. Yeah. However, I want to go onto a cruise and I want to enjoy it and have a really good time. And when things go wrong, I say, "Oh, God." Yeah. So
we sit on the last morning when we're on a cruise, we sit there and we're like, "Damn it." And Carole said, "What's the matter?" Nothing went wrong.
No, we don't.
God damn.
So Bob is here from Edinburgh. So hello to you. Both
hello,
looking
Bobby.
great as always. Thank you very much. And Anna Mike's saying the curtain pole is not a clothes rail, Carole. No, it's not.
I think Mike's saying that, not Anne. I'm just
Do you
guessing.
reckon?
I'm just guessing.
Oh,
Now, interestingly, I filled the hole. Now, it does say that the filler is drillable. So I've done what course of action to take yet. But what I could do is if I move, because the curtains are long enough, I could move the curtain pole up another 4 or 5 inches. And then I'll have a fresh wall to go at. But obviously, I'll have to do both sides. And that will mean that Carole won't even be able to reach the curtain pole.
true.
What
But
should
I've got
I
a new
do?
pole now. I've got
What
a new
should
pole.
I do? Answers in the comments.
New curtain pole, a raised curtain pole. But I don't care about the curtain pole anymore because I've got a new clothesline, haven't I? So I'm happy.
Yeah.
And
it's got wheels on.
Yeah, it has. So Kenga Cruz said, should I bring my plumbing tools with me next week?
Ken, if you bring your tools, you will literally, we'll all be out having a beer and you'll be here for about 73 hours trying to sort everything out. Why do you need plumbing stuff for a bloody curtain? He's as bad as me if he's going to bring his plumbing stuff.
I knows we want to do the bathroom too. Yeah. So Adrian's here. So Barnsley Tykes is here from lovely Barnsley, South Yorkshire. And Donna and Scott are saying, a curtain pole is great whilst ironing, but Scott has to hang them as I can't reach. Oh, dear. Bobby's just saying, any tips or good things about the Enchanted Princess? It's our honeymoon destination. Well, Enchanted Princess, we went on a 4-day cruise with the family.
I love it how she's looking at me. I've got no idea.
We went to Rotterdam, remember? We didn't vlog it because we didn't do much filming at all because we wanted to just spend time. That was with Lucas and my sister.
Is that where we had torrential rain when we were in Rotterdam?
The weather was atrocious.
We had this brainwave to walk into Rotterdam from the Swan Bridge, which is called, what's it called? But this means the Swan. Whatever that bridge is where you dock up next to is called the Swan. So we crossed the bridge.
It begins with E, I think.
We crossed the bridge. We went to various places. Then we ended up in the Markthal, which is the food hall, which is fabulous. If you go there, you've got to go to the Markthal. And then we started walking back. So we'll walk back. We don't need to worry about a taxi. And everybody was there was all like fit and young, not like us old duffers. And we're like, yeah, we'll walk back. And we walked for about 10 minutes. And then it rained like I'd never seen rain before.
Sideways rain, wasn't it? It was just
we only had the bridge to cross when it started hammering down with rain. That bridge all of a sudden was 75 miles long.
It was the Aramis Bridge.
Aramis, Aramis. But I'm sure it means swan. But yeah, so Enchanted Princess were lovely. Yeah, now you've reminded me. It was nice.
Well, Carla will know if she's Dutch, if it means, and Laura.
Yeah, but Rotterdam's not in Holland, any. It's in Belgium. Yes, I knew because you can get the train to Amsterdam. I know that. Of course, I know it's that.
So, tips for Enchanted Princess would be same as we would do for Sky or all the Royal class. Make sure you get to the entertainment because we found that the entertainment is superb. Get to know your app and get to know your medallion and use that because it's got some brilliant functions on there. The piazza is beautiful. Get a seat in the piazza is lovely, but it's hard to get because it gets busy. So if there is something you want to watch, then get in there early. And Princess Live do some fantastic game shows and quizzes and things. But again, you have to get in there early because it gets really, really busy.
Don't have a cheeseburger pie from the International Cafe. They're rubbish.
No. So, and also we had a fantastic meal there. Steakhouse, isn't it? The Crown Grill on that type of ship is brilliant.
Banging.
Kevin's here. Yo from the train over from Manhattan. Oh, I love to see you here.
Good evening, Kevin.
So that's good. And on Facebook too. So that's interesting. Mike saying, evening all. I'm getting ready to go Tuesday on Morella Explorer 2, Palma to Dubrovnik. Cannot wait. Lovely. Fantastic itinerary. So have a fab time, Mike. So I put my dresses on the curtain pole.
Cheers, Andy.
Oh, dear. Well, hopefully yours won't wobble like ours did. Heather's saying, have you been to Venice? How did you get there? We have, and we flew, didn't we? We flew into Venice when we joined, which ship was it?
We've been to Venice.
We've been to Venice a couple of times. No, we didn't fly there. We didn't fly.
You go without me. We did it once on an old
MSC
on an old Thompson Morella ship.
Yes.
and it was one of the first
It
times
was celebration.
ever. It was one of the first times ever we got chatting to somebody, and he used to work with a guy that Carole worked with all those years ago on Celebrity.
Gordon.
And yeah, Gordon, this guy's Gordon, who Carole used to work with. And what was the guy we met?
Not Olivier. It was
Octavia.
like Octavia.
Yeah. And so we got invited to a few things, and not because he wanted us to experience these things. He just wanted to have a chat about the old times when Carole working with Gordon. And one of the things we got invited to was a champagne sail out of Venice. And I have to say, it was spectacular. I got no interest in champagne whatsoever. And when I said, like, oh, you got any beer, mate? You know, it was sort of frowned upon a bit. But it was amazing, that sail out.
It was.
And the next time we went
there... That was before we were vlogging properly, wasn't it?
But the next time we went there, it was absolutely bucketing down with rain, if you remember. And my brother and my dad was with us. And we didn't even get off. It was raining that bad. And I was gutted for my brother because he'd never been there.
Yeah.
And I said, well, look, brother, if you want to get off, we'll get off. He said, no. He said, we ain't going to be able to see nothing.
That was with Morella.
That was with Morella. That was
Morella Explorer. Yeah. Ken Go Cruise saying, we went to Gijon, pronounced Hihon. Hihon. And we did a Cidra tour, quite a different taste in cider, quite a mild taste. Oh, okay, cool. Catherine's here, so had a great cruise on Majestic Princess, but whoever thought O'Malley's going where Vine was a good idea didn't think it through. Yeah, you've been chatting about that on Discord, haven't you? They do make these decisions, don't they? Vines has always been a really nice sort of wine bar area, isn't it? So, and O'Malley's, you always get it'd be the same. You get the music from the piazza in there.
Yeah.
So
that's in the corner where my dad and my sister always sits in the mornings, and it Vines.
Yes. Yeah. And then your sister would always have her Baileys and coffee.
Which apparently is not an alcoholic drink.
So Adam's here. Hello, Adam. Thank you for joining us. And fingers crossed your dad can go on the cruise from AE.
Oh, yes, that'll be brilliant.
Yeah, and Kevin's also saying lots of love and support for your dad. Yeah, we just hopefully if he continues doing how he's doing, it should be fine. So Emma saying I'll be packing this weekend for the group cruise. Wow, you are organised. Well, let's have a look. Emma's asking, anyone on the group cruise, have you pre-booked your Tivly Gardens entry tickets? If so, where have you booked them? Yes, we have, and we booked it directly on the site.
On Tivly Gardens
site, on the Tivly Gardens site.
They're about 19 ding-dongs or whatever they use in Denmark.
Ding-dongs?
Yeah, it's £19 it comes out at, whatever Dutch krona or Belgian krona. It
is krona, isn't it?
Or
it's not Dutch, it's Danish.
French krona, whatever it is. Whatever the kronas are, it works out to about 19 quid. If you just want a park ticket, if you want to go on the rides, you can buy an unlimited ride ticket, but it's about 50 quid. Or you can do a pay-as-you-go on the rides, which is what me and Dangerous Ken's going to do.
Dangerous Ken.
Me and Dangerous Ken.
I'm happy to look after everyone's bags. So I shall, well, as long as it's by a store that sells maybe wine or something. Yeah.
So she's happy to hold your bag, but she will lose it.
No. So, but if you get any trouble, Emma, just message us on Facebook and we can send you the link. So it's no problem at all. Yeah, Andy and Carla are just saying they've booked directly too. Yeah, Anna and Mike have booked that too as well via the app. So Philippa's here. So love to see Philippa. We'll be seeing you soon. So Christopher Nee saying, enjoy Paul's ball skills at Cheltenham the other day. They didn't sign you up then.
Well, funny enough, when I said I haven't got nothing on the weekend, I'm playing away at who are they playing this weekend? I mean, if they want to target man up front, they can't miss me. About 18 stone of me up there. But yes, the brain is still keen, and the feet can still control the ball at this moment in time. Long may it continue. I would say once you got it, you never lose it. But you know, I don't know if I had it to lose in the first place.
For those of you who don't know, we were invited. Well, Dan, our travel agent, and his dad Tony came down to Gloucester because we wanted to meet up and talk about the group cruise. But also Gillingham, which is Dan's team, were playing Cheltenham Town, which is one of our local teams. So they arranged for us to have tickets to go into hospitality. And we had a fantastic afternoon. And Paul just happened to get chatting to the lady who does all the PR at the bar, as you do, and just saying, "Oh, we do a bit of YouTube, got Facebook, and it's great. We've had a great day today so far. We're really looking forward to the match." And then she chatted, you sat back down, and then about 10 minutes later, she said, "Would you like to come on the pitch?"
It was the bloke who was running the hospitality who did all the speeches and stuff at the big fella.
I know, but she talked to him, and then they came over and they said, "Would you like to have your picture on the pitch before the match starts?" And we're like, "Okay, thank you very much." Anyway, they looked after us brilliantly, and she actually emailed the photos to me this morning, and she took a picture of us in the hospitality. So we had a fantastic day. And do you know when Dan and Tony and Paul said, "Oh, we're going to go with the football"? I'm like, "Oh, great." But actually, do you know, I really, really enjoyed it. And the atmosphere there was fab, wasn't it? It was really good fun. So let's have a look.
It was a 1-1 draw, by the way. So it was
a 1-1
honours
draw.
even. So
Jennifer's here. So Jennifer, who we bumped into in New York.
We did.
Hello from sunny Midwest USA. Bad news, just had shoulder replacement surgery yesterday. Great news, I'm off work for a month and can join the live chat. So very happy to see Paul and Carole. Lovely to have you here, Jennifer. And hopefully, I hope your shoulder replacement, you recover well.
Sorry about the circumstances, but nice
good to have you here. Emma's just saying, are you doing just the gardens or the rides? Hopefully you've answered that.
Me and Ken's going to do all the, just the big ones we're doing.
Is that
the biggest ones.
I'm just doing the gardens. Yeah. And so...
I mean, being a Tottenham fan's a roller coaster ride enough, really, isn't it, I suppose, but...
So Tony Nightingale's just saying, how do you choose which comments to answer? Can you please acknowledge Pearl and Brian's trails and adventures on our channel Retro TV with Lumpy Bob and Birds? Well, there you go. I just go through the comments, and if they're relevant, well, I try and answer everyone's comments. So hopefully that's
unless you're trying to, big up somebody's other YouTube channel or something like that.
But no, that's fine. We don't mind supporting other creators.
No,
that's we don't find. I know other creators don't like doing that, but we're happy to promote anyone who's doing it. You know how tough it is, and it's a great community. There's lots of brilliant YouTubers out there, and the majority of people get on very well, don't they? And it's lovely.
But we don't want to turn it into like Facebook Marketplace. So if you've got a rally push bike with 26-inch wheels. Don't put it in the chat.
So Warren's just saying that my wife helps with the yard all the time. She's a retired nurse too, as well. I'm in her 80s, here in San Antonio. So was she a retired nurse from the 80s, or is she in her 80s? So, but yes, that's when I did my training. 1985 was when I started my training. Penny's just asking, hello guys, back from the QM2, currently looking at cruising Antarctica on Celebrity Equinox. Have you sailed on the ship, and do you have any advice? We haven't sailed on Equinox, but we've literally just we literally last year did Celebrity Eclipse, which is our Canada, our recent vlog series that's out now. And it's the same class of ship. So and the tour that's going out tomorrow, you'll see that a lot of the venues are the same. But I think cruising Antarctica.
Would I be right in saying, though, that if you're doing it on Celebrity Equinox, you'll just be doing a drive-by, and you won't be landing anywhere?
Yes, but that's fine. Some people want to do that. There's two ways, for those of you who don't know about Antarctica, there's two ways of doing it. There's doing it on a big cruise ship like Celebrity Equinox, or you go on a expedition ship. So it's a smaller ship, and then what happens with the expedition ships is you actually get off on ribs, and you actually go and you stand on Antarctica. With the bigger cruise ships, because they just do sort of drive-bys of the peninsula, you get to see it, which is still brilliant, because we did that with Glacier Bay. We didn't stand on it, we've seen it. So actually to see Antarctica would be awesome. But if I was paying a lot of money to do a cruise to Antarctica, I would want to stand on it, I think. But I'm sure you'll have a good time.
I'd want to shake hands with a penguin on the island.
Shake hands with a penguin?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to touch them.
What, even if he comes up and I would just little thing out?
What if he did come up to you and say, hi, Paul, would you like to shake my hand?
I'm allowed to shake his hand if he says, hi, Paul. So do you think a penguin would know I was out there?
Might do.
Do you think we get off and all the penguins would go, is that Paul and Carole?
We got recognised the other day in...
I don't think it's... Carole's going to say now, we got recognised the other day in Sainsbury's, which isn't quite the same as some penguins recognising you in Antarctica.
But we don't expect it when we're out food shopping. So, but anyway, but it was a lovely lady coming and said she enjoyed our video, so that's good. Hey, my bestie, Tina. Evening, both love your bestie.
Walshy.
See you soon, Walshy. Yeah. It's fabulous. Cotswold Copy said, did you hear about the fire in the 57,000 square Temu warehouse? Complete inventory lost, totaling 49.97. You can get some bargains on Temu. Kevin Austin saying, are you going on the Kevin Austin group cruise to Alaska? Yes, we are. We are.
Oh, there you go. We forgot about that one, didn't we?
It's a very small group, isn't it? Just 4 people. Oh, dear. Donna and Scott saying, shot. Oh. So you get Jerry and you get Grace and Paula together, and it's mayhem, isn't it?
They're
so
bad news.
They're lovely.
I'll get them to look after my dad.
Yes. Jerry saying as well, talking of shoes, is it okay to wear my Crocs when I'm down in shots? Paul's favourite type of shoes, Crocs. Oh. Lucy Mum's here saying she's on Tui Island this week for a Dutch river cruise with Lucy and Co for annual hen party. We'll have a fabulous time. We thoroughly enjoyed our river cruise on Tui.
That was Isla, wasn't it?
Yeah, same ship. Yeah. Tony's here asking, what was your favourite port you visited in Alaska? Thanks from Cardiff.
We liked the one where the men had their big choppers out. Do you like that? Ketchikan. That was a nice, fun place to walk around, and you've got all the little.
You've got the creek at the back.
Yeah, so that was quite easy to navigate. You don't need to book an excursion.
Skagway was beautiful, and we did the railway.
The White Pass Railway.
It's really quite a nice town to have a walkway too. Do you know we didn't really see very much because we went off on a 4-day whale watching, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we managed just to come back to go to the Red Dog Saloon to have a duck fart. So out of all those, that sounds.
So the men with their choppers
if you don't know what
out.
we're on about, just have a watch of our Alaska, Holland, America. That was a fantastic trip, wasn't it? It was fantastic, and we're so excited. We're going to be in Alaska again in September. So that's excellent. So hard to pick a favorite, isn't it? Out of that one, which would you say
I think there was none of them were bad.
Skagway maybe. Skagway for me probably. Yeah. So. Roz is here as well. Good morning from Kona, Hawaii. Another person in Hawaii. Finally made alive. We're just waiting to go through the immigration process before we can go out for an explore. We're getting closer. We'll have a fantastic time.
Sounds amazing.
So Maffy saying 1+ for the tux on the group cruise from Matt. So yes, so quite a few people are dressing up, but a few have said that they're not. So that'll be doesn't matter.
Jerry's going to be wearing his Crocs, isn't he? So
he is. Emma's saying she loves dressing up, as it's the only time we get to dress up. I'll be wearing dresses every night. Looking forward to meeting lots of new people. Yeah, exactly. It's very rare, isn't it, at home now, because everything's pretty casual, that you go to something because can you remember the last time you wore a tuxedo at home?
I never wore a tuxedo at home, I don't believe. But the thing is, I worked in sales for years, and every day was shirt and tie, shirt and tie, shirt and tie, and you just get sick to death of it. And when you put a shirt and tie on, even though it's for a celebration, it doesn't feel like a celebration. It's like if you imagine you work somewhere where you got to wear overalls all day, and then you go on a cruise, and every night you had to wear overalls, you'd be like, but because I haven't worked, I work for myself, so I don't have to wear a shirt and tie because I'm in charge of the dress code. So I haven't had to do that for 15 or 16 years. So now I do thoroughly enjoy dressing up, especially if I can fit into my clothes.
Which you can now again.
Which hopefully I can again. I'm still working on it, but we've had a couple of lapses, haven't we?
No, we're out tomorrow, aren't we, with friends? So that should be good. Right. Johnny was saying to us on our members, if you booked a Princess Panama Canal cruise and they went and cancelled the Panama Canal leg, would you cancel it? Yes, I would, because that's the reason for you doing it, isn't it? Yeah. And it's just very, very disappointing. #fuming. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's very, very, very annoying.
And they should be there. that shouldn't be like, oh, you'll just get your money back. They should be giving you extra on top of that.
Well, there's a lot of Princess Cruises being cancelled at the moment and I can't remember, was it Enchanted or one of the ships? They're totally revitalizing the itinerary, and I'm not sure why. I can't think, it's gone out of my head. So if anyone knows, then pop it in the comments there. Rose is saying she'll be wearing dresses but held with safety pins. Yeah, Rose has lost a lot of weight. She's done really, really well.
Rose, you
so
haven't
well
got
done.
She hadn't got that dress that Liz Hurley used to have back in the day.
Oh no,
that was all safety.
Do you remember that when she was going out with Hugh Grant? And
that
she
was all
turned
safety
up
pins, wasn't it?
It was all safety pins in the side.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Garth is asking, would we ever go to South Africa, Cape Town? We would love to go to that part of the world, but no plans as yet. We're both saying, Queen Mary too. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful ship. And Steve and Nicola we're back from a fantastic cruise aboard the beautiful Regal Princess. I'm glad you had a great time. Let's have a look. Helen saying, thanks for that, Carole. This week Rome is closing down. It's not, is it? Shame as I bought them from them. Oh, I haven't heard that as yet.
No, I haven't heard it.
Oh, it is a shame, isn't it? Because
you'll be going there tomorrow then to see what they got.
Might have to.
I'll wait in the pub.
You wait in the pub. And Rose is saying, is it fake news that Roman is closing down? Don't know. We'll have to look at that, because that is gutting, because they do some lovely cruise stuff. Joe saying, we loved your Rocky Mountaineer video. We're going next year. Can't wait. That was fantastic. I'd love to do that again, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it was fabulous.
It was absolutely brilliant. But thank you for watching. So Aoife's here. So we've been sorting out bits and bobs for a cruise in June. So that's exciting. And P.S. doing the Alaska cruise after on Holland America, first cruise ever. You've inspired me. Well, that's great to hear, because that's what we did. We did obviously from Calgary, we did that tour, didn't we? And then we did the Rocky Mountaineer, and then we finished off with the Alaska cruise, which is awesome. Aoife's asking if we ever do upgrades. We haven't, have we?
I've never. No, I know you can bid for them, and I know people who have bid for them, and it's. How do you know if it's a good offer or not? Well, I mean, you don't, but you just got to offer what you feel comfortable with. Is, what's it worth to you to get from inside to outside, or from
inside to balcony,
or whatever it might be. But it's not something that we've ever. It's not something that we wouldn't do, but it's just something we've never considered
had, because we tend to book a cabin that we wanted at that time,
and it's the same.
Not done a guarantee.
It's the same with flying as well. Like if you fly with Virgin, there's always, would you like an upgrade? And it's like, yeah, I'd love one. And I said, we'll just bid somewhere between 38 quid and £5,000, and we'll see what we can do for you. And it's like, I'm sure if you bid 38 quid, you ain't going to get it.
No,
but who knows? If nobody else bids, then maybe.
I think the essence is, if you want to bid whatever you're happy to pay, but don't get in that bidding frenzy.
Yeah, don't get in a bidding
because
war.
Then you bid for something, and then it's actually, do you know what? You paid stupid men.
You would have booked it the first time round and got it for less money.
Exactly. And in Christine saying that P&O is still doing festival.
Well, we'll have to check it out. The next time, just to see how much better it was than when we saw it.
And Andrew's saying, I hope they're not closing down. Love their clothes. Yeah. Rose is saying festival was terrible on Iona.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
Colette's asking us about cabins. Talk about cabins. Do you always go for a balcony one or inside one, and why? Today, actually, we put a post out on Facebook all about how to choose the best cabin for you. So if you aren't sure about choosing cabins, make sure you check that post out, and that's on our website as well. We, in the past, because when I retired, we've done a lot of balconies because I'd had a lot of savings that I'd done throughout my nursing career with my pension, and we've treated ourselves to quite a few.
But she's blown all that now.
Well, the pot's got a lot smaller.
We usually stay in the lifeboat now.
No, so we're now looking for us to cruise more regularly at doing more inside cabins. So we have got a mini suite on Sky Princess, but then we've got some cruises booked later in the year where we have actually got inside cabins. So if your budget, I would always say, and if our budget would reach to a balcony, it would always be my preference. However, on the last few cruises we've been on, I very rarely used the balcony. And that got me thinking. It wasn't Paul, because Paul would happily stay in an inside every time, wouldn't you? He's not bothered about having a balcony. But I was always been, I want a balcony because I want my own space and I want that fresh air. And actually, the amount of time that I've used it, it hasn't been worth us having a balcony. And I think when we're cruising just the two of us, having a balcony, it might be more worthwhile. But when we're going to Australia in January, we booked a large inside, because it was going to cost us about £6,000 more for a balcony, and it's being able to justify that cost. Would you say?
No, totally. It was about £6,000, and you think, well, you could do at least 2 more cruises with that for £6,000.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it depends on your budget and but if you can afford a balcony is lovely. But actually, having an inside cabin when you're away and you're only in there for sleeping and getting ready, then I don't see,
No, that's right. Yeah.
Pros and cons.
And plus,
isn't it?
Why I don't like a balcony is because every time we're staying in a balcony cabin and I get ready and Carole says, right, you ready then? And I'm thinking, yes, I'm just moments away from a lovely cold beer. And then it's like, right. And then she starts walking in a different direction because she's going out on the balcony, because we have to have some pre-going out balcony photos. And she tricks me every time.
Yes,
but she can't do that in an inside, can she?
Just do it inside the cabin.
She'll make me go in the bathroom. Right, let's go then and go in the bathroom.
Visual approach saying, unfortunately, clickbait sells on YouTube. It does, which is a shame. Yeah. Donna said, a nosy question, but please ignore if you want. What nursing jobs did you do, Carole? You all seem like a nurse specialist to me. Patient viewers, you remind me of my lovely asthma specialist nurse. Oh, thank you. Well, I've had a very varied career. I started off when I first qualified, working in neurology, and I did a bit of gynecology. And then I went and I worked for Celebrity Cruises for 2 years as obviously a nurse on board a ship called, there was the Meridian and the Horizon. And then when I came back, I did just some agency work. And then I got a job on a cardiology ward at Gloucester Royal, where I worked for 7 years before. So I was a sister. That's when I worked my way up to a ward sister in a coronary care unit. And then there was a job that came up that had a bit more sociable hours in radiology. So then I went and was the senior nurse in radiology. And that developed into me having 3 staff by the time I retired, nearly 4 years ago, I then ran a team of 60 staff that were in 2 hospitals, one team in Cheltenham, one in Gloucester. So I wasn't actually a nurse specialist. I was more of a ward manager, team manager. But I had a great career, and it was hard. The last 5 years were hard with the politics and everything that's going on with the NHS at the moment. But I'm very proud of my career, and and it was great. But now I prefer my job that I'm doing now, which is this. Isn't it? YouTube and content creation and spending all time with my Paulie Morgan.
It's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh, dear. Right. So, Julie's just saying, I'm a 50-plus cruise veteran of basic, premier, and ultra-luxury cruise lines. Why are guest service staff so offhand or worse? Are they trained to be strict or hardline? We've had our experiences with guest relations, particularly if you've seen our Azamara series. I don't know. I think some can be really helpful and good. We've had a lot of cruise lines when we've gone to them for simple issues, and they've been brilliant. But some can have brusque nature. I don't know. And it's not helpful, is it? Because as soon as someone's brusque or, it's like any communication skills. If you want to diffuse people that are angry or, really, really unhappy, the worst thing you can do is by being really brusque and blunt. You have to have, it's a special skill, isn't it? Being able to diffuse people that are,
but that's their
and
job.
a lot of them don't have it.
And they don't have
sadly.
it. And I will say, obviously, our worst experiences was, we had the situation with Azamara, which in all fairness, it was awful, but they rectified it and they bent over backwards to apologize. And it was, it was great. And the people responsible were, don't know. Whatever. And our 2 MSc experiences, the first one on MSc Opera, the guest relations were awful.
Yeah, rude, very rude.
And when we were on MSc Opera, we didn't have any MSc Virtuosa. We didn't have any contact with guest services because it was a short cruise and everything sort of was going okay until we went to get off. And then they were convinced that I owed them some money.
27.
And that's when the poopy hit the fan And that's when I found out how awful their guest relations was. They were terrible.
Yeah.
And I didn't know
Very
them a penny.
frustrating.
And while we were there was a man, basically, it seemed like about every 10th person, when you went to scan your card to get off, he's like, oh, no, you can't get off, mate. And there was like security there and took me back inside, like I was like the biggest scummer of all time. And there was a man stood next to me, and they'd taken £1,800 off his credit card, despite the fact that he didn't even have a bill to pay at the end of his cruise. And they were like, oh, yeah, what's it about? It was like nothing I'd experienced. So, yes, but generally, what we've encountered, they've been pretty good. But
yeah, but there are a few
but there are some bad ones.
Morris is saying you should put a batten up and fix the pole to that. That's what Morris is saying, and Morris should know.
I'm not saying that Morris shouldn't know, but I don't know how to do that. What he should have is not somebody hanging off the thing like their monkey bars. That's what they should have.
Jackie's asking, any update on the new bungalow? Yes, we've got it here, and our bathroom is going to be sorted, hopefully, in the next month or so.
We're speaking to a man tomorrow.
We are. Eramus Bridge, yes, that's right. Yes.
Erasmus.
Erasmus.
Eramus. He was one of the bloody...
Well, Erasmus...
He was one of the musketeers, wasn't he?
Erasmus was a medieval Dutch humanist.
Oh, I was led to believe it was the Swan. It was meant to.
Ken saying his tours were for the BG. So Craig says on Enchanted next year. Ken goes, it always seems longer than it looks. It is. Christopher saying, raise the pole. I wouldn't trust drilling into fill it. It's only powder. Visual approach is getting on MSC Opera next year. Hopefully it's better than 7 years ago. Yeah, hopefully it will be. So do let us know.
Yeah. Let me tell you this now to encourage you. It couldn't be any worse. No. It was awful. So it can only be better.
Yeah, exactly that.
But the ship was beautiful. And it was a lovely little ship. It was almost, they went out of their way. Now, I know it's a multi-language, MSC are multi-language ships, as is Costa. But it's like they went out of their way if you were English. Carole, we would pull aside the one day, and they would, if they were doing like a game show or an activity by the pool, they would, it'd be Italian, French, Spanish, whatever, but they would always say in English as well. So they said this thing in English after they'd said all the other languages. So Carole thought, oh yeah, I'll have a go at this. So there was about 20 people got up, and then she explained the language, the rules in every language apart from English. So Carole was the only English person out there, and she didn't even know what she had to do.
Yeah,
and it was they didn't. It was just really annoying.
But hopefully, like I said, that was 7 years ago. Lots of things have changed since then. So do let us know how you get on. So Laurie's here. It's lovely to see Laurie from a sunny and hot Houston.
Houston, Texas.
And Joe Andrews is saying, where did you do your training, Carole? Fellow local nursing. I did it at Gloucestershire. It was Gloucestershire School of Nursing in Redwood House at the hospital. Many, 1985. I qualified in 1988.
Yeah, you was in the same class as Florence Nightingale, wasn't you?
No, I was not. Oh, funny.
Before I'd even got a laugh out, she knew exactly where I was going.
So Susan's saying, I probably just joined. Are you going on QM2? We are in 18 days. We're not. We've got nothing booked on Queen Mary 2, but we'd happily cruise on that ship again.
We've been on there a few times, but we love her. We do.
Yeah, we do. Striker Maguire's here. Why don't you do a vlog? Why don't you vlog a race? I think it would be interesting. Paul does do some videos while he's away racing. We have been sharing some links on our with our Patreon and YouTube members, haven't we, of your races?
But there's loads of people doing that.
Yeah,
there's loads of people doing it. They got in-car cameras, and that, the meeting I went to last week, there was a bloke videoing the races with a drone, and there's no shortage of. And I got to be honest, like if I went and duffed up like £700 or £800 worth of camera in a race because it got hit by something, Carole wouldn't let me back in the house. So there we have it.
You just need to treat me to a new camera, and you can have the old GoPro.
We are. Very generous of you. So who knows? One day.
Yes.
Well, the irony was, let me tell you an irony. They do British Championship rounds, 5 British Championship rounds every year, and it's the creme de la creme of racers. So if you can get anywhere near winning a race there, you've done well. And it was probably 10 years ago. And my nephew said, "Oh, I got an action cam I'm going to put in your car." And I come off the line and got completely filled in because they'd watered the track. And then I drove all the way around the outside and overtook everybody in one of the most spectacular drives I've ever achieved, and got back to the pits. And there was, "Oh, fair play, mate. That was a good race." And then my nephew Tom looked at me and said, "Yeah, I don't think you're going to be watching the video though." And there was a piece of mud about that big over top of the camera that had come through because you haven't got a windscreen, you've got mesh basically. So I've got the footage of about the first 8 seconds of the race, and that was about it.
Grace is here. Hello, hello. Let me see you.
Yeah,
See you
she's
soon.
a bad influence.
Sandra's here. I think she meant to put morning, awake for the dawn service. So I hope you're doing all right, Sandra. And hopefully we'll chat with you on Sunday. Let me see. Christian says it's a scam that Rose.
Oh, I hope it's true.
Well, hopefully it is. It is a. So Lisa's something about a last stop and nervous about getting back to our country. So Lisa's asking, "I'm late to the party, but we are from Canada and cruising in November, and our last stop is in Florida. I'm nervous about getting back to our country. Does anyone have any experience of this?" No. But there's no reason, we went through immigration in Portland, didn't we, to get it back into the US, and it was absolutely fine if we got there on time. So let's see. So let's have a look. So you got just look to the time.
I know. I don't like to say anything because she's you're trying to.
So Mark, enjoy Festival Iona. Worst I've seen is a Fustick video game musical on.
Oh, see, we really like that. Five Skies, that.
Five
Skies.
Funny
enough, Ken and Lindsay hate Five Skies,
and we really
loved Five Skies.
So it depends on your taste, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's it. Let's have a look.
But what I will say, and we had the same conversation with Ken and Lindsay. They weren't particularly close to the front when they watched it, I believe. But we sat right at the front for Five Skies, and we thought it was an absolute banger, didn't we?
We did.
But there you go. Apples and oranges and all that.
It is. Rob's just saying, only done 2 cruises, just back from Norway and Cunard. Guest relations were brilliant with everything we had to sort out. Yeah, so that's good to hear. Question, nice to see you both. You brighten my day. Oh, thank you. We're looking to do a Norway cruise and would like your must-do ports. Look at it going on Barletta or Aurora, been to Bergen and Flam. Well, the 2 ports that I would say Flam would have been one of them, but Sholden, spelled Skjolden, and Olden. There are 3.
Yes, they're fab.
So that would be, if there's an itinerary with Olden or Skolden on, then that would be fine. And Sandra says Anzac Day in Australia, and it's 5:11 a.m. Wow. Mary's just asking about Celebrity Solstice. Any views on the ship? We've just done Eclipse, which is the same family as Solstice. So, and our video goes out tomorrow at 6 p.m. all about that. So make sure you keep an eye on that. Ted K.O., have a nice day, is here. So lovely to see you, Guy. And the Steam and Beans here. Hello from the isolated northern village of Sandy Bay in northern Saskatchewan, near Flin Flon, Manitoba.
Yeah, he usually wins the best name.
He does the best name. Right, I think that's going to be it now, isn't it? Because we've been chatting now for 1 hour 18 minutes. But I'm just going to say our next live stream will be next Thursday. Anything else to add? I think we've covered everything we wanted to cover, isn't it? That's all on my list.
I believe so.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us for another Thursday night. We will see you the same place, same time next week. Have a fabulous week, everyone. Bye-bye.